Thanks all here, I see. Good morning, happy Hanukkah.
Good afternoon.
Good morning. Happy Diwali, happy Christmas, happy New Year, happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Did I get it? Am I good? All right. And let me just say this. Melinda Katz, for those of you that are not regulars here, Deputy Borough President Miller. Welcome to the Queensborough Board at Borough Hall, People's House in Queens. Let me open up by saying at this family time of year and holiday season, I really thank everyone for the great work that we've done. Queens is moving and shaking. And a large part of that is because of the community boards and the commitment that you all have to the borough. Folks want to come here, they want to invest here, they want to rent our parks out now here, everybody wants to come here, and that's an amazing tribute to a lot of the work that you're doing here. And at times we agree or disagree on how we move forward, but we all agree that Queens is the hot spot. We always knew it about 20 years ago, 10 years ago. We knew it for generations, and now the world seems to know it. And so we are excited about that, and the community boards have a lot to do with that. And so I thank you on behalf of Borough Hall. And tonight, do we have any replacements, or?
Yes, we have two.
Vicky? Sorry, just a little business. All right. We have a motion for Kim Ohana to sit in for Jean Kelty for Board 7. A motion, and I'd like a motion for Reverend McGee to sit in for Adrian Adams. I'll take one motion on both. Benny? Good. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have the Commissioner of Parks has graciously agreed to yield 5 minutes to our great city clerk, Michael McSweeney, Queens' own. The New York City clerk is charged with a myriad of duties, including enforcing New York City's lobby law. Within the office, the Lobbying Bureau, which works with lobbyists and clients to ensure compliance with the lobbying law to promote transparency in government. In keeping with the premise, the Bureau has started an amnesty program that will allow individuals who have not properly registered the opportunity to do so without fear of penalty. With us this evening to discuss this new program is the City Clerk, Michael McSweeney. The floor is yours, Mr. McSweeney.
Thank you, Madam Borough President. I greatly appreciate this opportunity. And Commissioner Silver, thank you so much for allowing me a few minutes before your presentation. So the lobbying law was changed by local law 129 of 2013, and that authorized an amnesty program for anybody that is required by law to register as a lobbyist, but maybe has chosen not to register, or doesn't, and they may have chosen not to register because they are aware that the lobbying law is enforced mainly with late fees. Okay, there's really no such thing as illegal lobbying. There's, lobbying that you're required to report, and if you don't report it in a timely fashion, we use late fees that the law gives us to encourage compliance by people who are supposed to lobby. Supposed to register as lobbyists. So, in addition to being the city clerk, and we oversee the New York City lobbying law, in a previous time I was a longtime member of Community Board 2 here in Queens. And I know from my experience, having served for 8 years on the Community Board, that most of the universe of people that we are seeking to advise of this amnesty opportunity will have a connection to their local community board. Maybe because they're a not-for-profit organization that receives city funding or has a contract with the city and may have triggered the lobbying law, or maybe that they are another, acting in some other fashion, maybe in a development context, in a land use context. And what we want to do is get the word out that you have this one-time opportunity to apply for amnesty so that you can avoid being fined under the lobbying law. So I'm here to ask all of the chairpersons of each of the community boards to please take this information back. Please pass it on to your district managers, to your committee chairs, and let them know to please announce the lobbying amnesty program is going to start on January 1st. We have created a very simple pamphlet that would basically, we would ask every single person or organization that has a contract with the city to review this pamphlet and just kind of go through, we tried to simplify what is a very complicated a series of requirements into a three-question sort of context. We ask you to look at this pamphlet, and step one, ask, is your organization lobbying? And we basically have summarized the 11 requirements, the 11 types of activity that are lobbying activities under the law. And then the second step is to ask yourself if your activity is excluded by one of the 11 exclusions of lobbying. Okay, and then the third thing is, the most important thing is whether or not your organization has reached the reporting threshold. Okay, the reporting threshold is that your organization has to expend or incur $5,000 a year annually towards lobbying activity. Okay, so the $5,000 threshold is really the key as to whether or not you're required to report. So if you're a not-for-profit organization, that number, is going to be the key, question that we would like you to ask. So prior to the change in the law, the lobbying threshold was $2,000. By making it $5,000, we're assuming that most small not-for-profit organizations would not have to apply as a lobbyist. So I'm sure what I'm saying is a very complicated. It's very complicated. What we're going to do is we're going to do outreach on the community board level, and I'd like to just introduce a few members of my staff who are here tonight. We're here, we can answer any questions. If you have any questions, I'm not able to answer them now because I'm pretty sure my 5 minutes is up. You can, reach out to us. Our phone number is on this pamphlet. So I'd like to introduce my deputies, my deputy city clerks, Damaris Acosta and Elisa Fuentes, my general counsel, Patrick Sinwhite, and my director of training, Jessica Fiorillo. Jessica, please let your district managers know and your offices know that one of us will be reaching out to the offices to discuss outreach activities. But again, please let everyone know that there is a lobbying amnesty period that is beginning on January 1st. Until June 30th. It's a 6-month period. It is free of charge, and it is not a complicated thing to do to apply. We just ask that you get these pamphlets out to people, and please use the numbers. Please call us if there are any questions, and let everybody know. Madam Borough President, thank you very much for this opportunity.
You guys all have the pamphlets?
Okay,
Do you have another to hand out? Okay, good.
Okay, and we will be happy to get more pamphlets. The pamphlet is linked to our webpage, so our website is on the pamphlet. Okay, you can print them off of our website. They are a PDF file on our website.
Thank you.
Thank you
Very
very
helpful.
much.
And just before the commissioner speaks, it is very important that you read that, especially a lot of you that are involved with different organizations. And as a lawyer, when I was doing this for a living, we used to tell our clients all the time, if you're going in to see elected officials, you're going to lobby for folks just because you're on the board, all of that. You need to make sure that you're not required to register under the lobbying laws. And I think it's really important for you to get that message out.
I do have problems with the English language every so often because it's the worst language to do business in. Step one, we qualify, all boards qualify every one of those steps. But step two, we're not exempt.
So then the third step is to ask whether or not your organization
Community board exempt from this.
Community boards.
Yes.
Okay, community boards. Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. Community boards are actually members of the community boards in their capacity as community board members are public officials for the purposes of the lobbying law, which means that many of the people that appear before community boards, when they are asking for the boards to vote a certain way, they are lobbying your members. They're lobbying you and your members. You are the target that is listed by lobbyists on their lobbying
Let's
reports.
step backwards. We do everything on this to our elected officials.
But you're public officials.
But
So
doesn't
you're doing
say-
it in your elected
There's no here
capacity.
saying that we're, that public officials.
Okay, so that, I'm glad you brought that up. Public officials, all city employees and, city public officials are exempt from having to file lobbying reports.
Guys, do me a favor, because the commissioner was really scheduled to do this for several months, and I would like to give him the opportunity, and he's been very kind so far on yielding. Can we have your email or someone's email address to ask questions and follow up?
Yes, I'll give you my email address. It's mmcsweeny@cityclerk.nyc.gov. There is also a general, on the pamphlets, there is also a general lobbying help desk address. But you can feel free, everyone here can feel free to email me directly. If I can't answer the question, I'll have someone else in my office get right back to you.
And I would go even further and suggest that if the lobbying commission, or if the city clerk is willing to send someone to your board meeting to actually make a presentation, if you're interested. I do think a lot of folks on the community boards are on the board of directors for the YMCA or going to elected officials' offices that they have relationships with and, working for the not-for-profits that they care deeply about. And there's no personal agenda, it's all for the not-for-profit, but we want to make sure that they're within the lobbying law. So maybe we can have the city clerk's office come and make the presentation.
We would be happy to do
He's
that.
never going to marry me now if I have to. Somebody's like, what? Okay? Thank you. And by the way,
Thank you
use
very much.
our office as well. Elisa is always available to answer questions. I'm available to answer, I know most of the stuff. Okay?
And we'll make sure we provide whatever information, we'll be happy to do that kind of outreach. So.
Thank you. All right, we appreciate it. I want to welcome Councilman Rory Lansman, Councilwoman Elizabeth Crowley, and I do want to welcome, probably for the only time he might ever get applause, the new councilman. Not by virtue of Barry, but we're a tough crowd. They don't get applause easily around here. Barry had done a phenomenal job as Deputy Borough President, Chair of the Community Boards, Director of Community Boards, I should say, and ran parks for the Borough Presidents, me and before me. And so we welcome him, and we are glad that he is our new councilman. Congratulations. I would applaud you. All right, Commissioner, thank you for being here at the Borough Board. I'd like the Borough Board to know that you are the one who reached out to us to make this presentation, which we are very grateful for. We thank you for coming out to Queens, and we thank you for dinner tonight. There's dinner out there afterwards.
So that makes your question will be short. There's food out there. We're here all the time. Refreshments.
Parks Without Borders is a new mayoral initiative to make our city's outdoor spaces more welcoming, accessible, and better connected to the surrounding neighborhoods. The department's future depends on an integrated system. With us this evening to discuss this new initiative and how it will work in Queens is the city's Parks Commissioner Mitchell Silver. Commissioner Silver, we welcome you once again to Borough Hall. You're not a stranger to us.
Thank you. I'm going to walk to the front here so you can look at the presentation. Hopefully I will not need a microphone. My training in public speaking hopefully will serve me well. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Well, first I want to say how delighted I am to be here. This is a project, an initiative that we've talked about for quite some time, but now we have some real dollars behind it. And so I am very excited to finally work on this initiative. We are going to all of the borough boards throughout the city. The purpose is to make sure that you'll see through the presentation that we're going to need your help to get the word out. and also your help to make sure we reach out to all the civic groups and all the park advocates should they want to have their individual meetings. I have to tell you that there's been a great response for this program so far, both in the press and social media. If any of you are active in Twitter, it got well over 100,000, hundreds of thousands of impressions all over the world. There are cities now that are taking a look at the same approach, London, Toronto, Miami, Adelaide, Australia, that they're very excited about this approach, and it's been written up, and now there are more articles coming out that is really rethinking our parks in the 21st century. I'm going to just give some opening remarks and a few slides, and then Stephen Leonard, who is our Deputy Planning Director, will get into the specifics of the program. But I do want to share something, because when people see the title, Stephen will talk about what Parks and Rec Borders is. I'll tell you what it is not. It is not a plan to remove all the fences around every park in New York City. That's not what it is. If you notice throughout New York City, we have parks that have high fences, low fences, and no fences. It already exists in our system in our 1,953 parks. We also know that there are certain areas that should and must have a gate or a fence. That includes children play areas, places where there are steep slopes, where there's danger, and also certain fences for sports, just to make sure balls don't fly out into the street. And so we recognize that is the case. But there are other opportunities where we want to see how we can really rethink our park system, and Stephen will go into that in some more detail. I also want to quote somebody very famous who I admire, who actually said the sidewalks outside of the park should be considered the outer park. And that person's name is Frederick Law Olmsted, the godfather and father of landscape architecture. So it's interesting how we're coming back full circle to rethink parks. In fact, he fought very hard with the Central Park Commission, as well as Prospect Park, that he wanted to have a